All right, let's talk about food. Think about the last thing you ate. You probably didn't think twice about it, right? Well, you were trusting this massive, kind of invisible system to keep you safe. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and make that system visible. I mean, have you ever really stopped to think about the journey your food takes? It is so much more than just farming and shipping. It's this whole world of meticulous rules, constant checks and double checks, all designed for one single thing: your safety. Okay, so to do this, we've gotten our hands on something pretty cool. It's an official, real-world safety and hygiene manual from a place called Sur Farm. You can think of it like their secret playbook, the actual rules they followed to make sure every single product is perfect. So come on, we're going on a behind-the-scenes tour guided by their own rulebook. So where does food safety even begin? You might think it's with the food itself, but nope. It all starts with the people who handle it. The very first layer of protection is just making sure the team is safe, healthy, and totally prepared. Now, this might just look like basic stuff, but inside a food facility, these are non-negotiable laws. 20 seconds of hand washing. We're talking surgeon-level stuff here. No nail polish because it can chip off. Absolutely no jewelry because it can fall off or just harbor germs. These tiny details are the first and maybe the most important line of defense against any kind of contamination. And it's not just about being clean. It's about being protected from head to toe. The manual specifies exactly what gear is needed for every single job. We're talking safety shoes to prevent accidents, gloves to protect the food, and even earplugs for loud environments. You know, every part of a worker's interaction with the facility is controlled and standardized. And this right here, this really shows the focus on human safety. You don't just walk up to a machine and start using it. You have to be trained. You are forbidden from trying to be a hero and fix it yourself. And, critically, every single person has to know where those big red emergency stop buttons are. And if someone feels sick, they have to report it immediately to prevent spreading anything to their colleagues or the product. So the team is prepped and they're protected. Now the focus shifts to the product itself. We're going to follow it on its journey through what I like to call a gauntlet of safety checks. Now check this out. What's so interesting here is how something so simple can reveal a whole world of planning. A paper cut might seem totally minor, but in a food factory, it is a major event. It triggers a very specific protocol, and it all starts with this special Band-Aid. So, why blue? Because very few foods are naturally bright blue, right? It makes it incredibly easy to spot if it falls off. But here's the really genius part. It also has a metal strip inside. This means that even if a supervisor misses it, the factory's metal detectors won't. It is such a brilliant, simple solution to a very high-stakes problem. This all ties into a core philosophy you see across the entire food industry, called HACCP. Now, it sounds complicated, I know, but the idea is actually simple. Instead of just checking the final product for problems, you proactively identify every single point in the process where something could go wrong, and you control it right there. The whole process really boils down to this three-step logic. First, you think of everything that could possibly be a hazard, physical, chemical, or biological. Then you find the exact spots in the production line, the critical control points, where you can prevent or eliminate that risk. And finally, you just monitor those points relentlessly. And that brings us right back to our blue Band-Aid. That metal detector is one of the most important critical control points, or CCPs. It's like the final gatekeeper, the absolute last line of defense against any potential metal contamination making it into the final package. So, how seriously do they take this final check? Well, the manual specifies it isn't just checked once in a while. It's tested rigorously 3 times, every single workday. That's to ensure it's operating perfectly, no exceptions. That level of detail is a core part of the entire system. This level of control also applies to product integrity. I mean, look at the difference in handling organic versus conventional products. It's not just about using organic ingredients. The entire process is segregated. We're talking separate storage, special green labels, and a full washdown of the production line before any organic run. This prevents any chance of cross-contamination. And that same principle of preventing cross-contamination applies to the massive issue of allergens. The rule is simple and it is absolute. No personal food or drinks other than water are allowed on the factory floor. This is to prevent even a trace amount of an undeclared allergen, like peanuts, from accidentally contaminating the entire line. But even with the best systems in the world, things can still go wrong. And that's why the manual has a whole section on emergencies. This is the safety net that catches the unexpected. Let's take that allergen risk we just talked about. Despite all the precautions, what if a worker or maybe a visitor has a sudden allergic reaction? The response has to be immediate and it has to be precise. The manual actually trains employees to recognize the signs, from a mild rash all the way to the truly terrifying symptoms of a severe reaction, like difficulty breathing. This ensures that a response is triggered as quickly as possible, because in these situations, every single second counts. And here is the plan in action. There is a specific, known location for an EpiPen, a literal life-saving device. There's no searching, no confusion. Everyone knows where to go and what to do. It's a clear, rehearsed emergency protocol. Okay, let's pivot to a different kind of emergency, a physical contaminant. Imagine a light bulb shatters or a glass jar breaks near the production line. This is another potential disaster scenario. The response is just as methodical. Everything stops. A supervisor is called. And they don't just grab any old broom. They use a dedicated cleaning kit specifically for glass. And after the visible pieces are gone, the entire area is washed down to make sure not a single microscopic shard remains. It's meticulous. So after all these rules and procedures and emergency plans, what does it all really add up to? It's about a fundamental promise from the producer to you, the consumer. This line from their official quality policy, it just says it all. Every single rule we've looked at, from the hand washing to the blue Band-Aids to the broken glass protocols, is a direct action to fulfill this one single commitment. It's the why behind every single page of that manual. What all this shows is that the food on your plate has been on an absolutely incredible journey, protected by a web of unseen rules and dedicated people. It kind of makes you think, doesn't it? The next time you open a package, you're not just holding food, you're holding the result of a complex, dedicated system of safety.